from the Ticats Audio Network. This is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Day for a Tuesday, May the 24th, 2022. Louie B on the Ticats Audio Network from Ron Joyce Stadium at beautiful McMaster University in Hamilton, where Ticats have wrapped up training camp for another day, and we are back on the airwaves on the Ticats Audio Network with Ticats Today. We're going to hear from Coach O, and we're going to hear from a couple of the new guys as well on today's show. We'll hear from Micah Johnson, we'll hear from Alden Darby, and we'll hear from Kyle Saxelid as well. And I had a chance to catch up with a very familiar face around the Ticats and a very familiar voice here on the Ticats Audio Network because Andy Fantuz was here. He has been here the last few days as he's been working as a guest coach with the receivers. So he's one of many guest coaches who have been here throughout camp. Mike Vanderjagt, former NFL kicker, was working with all the place kickers and punters this week as well, and Andy Fantuz working with the receivers. So we'll catch up with Andy on his experience so far and his thoughts on what he has seen through the first week of camp. Business as usual was the term that we heard quite a bit today. As yes, there are some things going behind the scenes, and it was business as usual though here for the Ticats. Practice was open. And for the most up-to-date practice schedule, you can go to ticats.ca/practice-schedule, and hopefully you can find some time to come on down here and see the Ticats in action at Ron Joyce Stadium as they're getting set for their first preseason game. Our first broadcast, just a few short days away, as 4 days to be exact, because on Saturday on the Ticats Audio Network, the only way you'll be able to catch the game, unless you buy tickets and join us there in person, will be on the Ticats Audio Network. So looking forward to our very first broadcast, and that is happening on Saturday, exclusively on the Ticats Audio Network. All right. Let's hear from the head coach of the Ticats and president of football operations. That is Orlondo Steinauer. Here's what he had to say after practice today.
Felt great. Beautiful day. Everybody came out focused, and I feel like we got better today. Just business as usual. We're out here. Hey, like I said, I meant what I said. I was proud of the work we did today. Thought coaches, everybody. It was a team effort today. Shoot, equipment was even out here early. Therapists were out here early. Everybody's ready to work today. It was good. I'm still learning our we're still learning our 2022 football team. And, there's a test every week in this league. And so it's nice to see your progress, but sometimes you get in the game and then you don't see it. So the best evaluation is always a full speed game. But other than that, I there's times I love what I see. There's times I don't love it at all. But that's every training camp. Well, there's been a couple of. There's just a lot of people around, Steve. A lot of people been around. You couldn't really see. Right. There was some things that weren't very pleasant. Yeah. A few pushes, but everybody's trying to feed their family and compete, and they want to win. So I think it's healthy.
That is the head coach and president of football operations of your Ticats, Orlondo Steinauer, as he spoke after practice today. All right, one of the big storylines about the Ticats this year is obviously the returning pieces from 2021, some of the key offensive weapons, defensive stars, and, up-and-coming rookies and younger players. But, of course, there are some new faces around the Ticats as well. And today we are going to focus on a few of them. And let's start with Micah Johnson, as we had the chance to catch up with him for the first time at training camp and asked him what his experience has been like so far with the Ticats. Here's what he had to say.
It's been fun, man. It's been a lot of fun. The guys are real fun. It's a good group of guys, and we really working hard. For me, it's kind of cool just being able to just come in and just fit in and play ball. You know what I mean? There's plenty of leaders on the team. There's plenty of guys that have a voice, and like I said, it's really just a lot of leadership on this team. So for me, it's just about just coming in, fitting in, and doing what I could do to help. Bill, my guy, we've been talking all off-season stuff like that.
Love you, boy.
We've been talking all off-season, so it's a good chemistry, man. Like when I've always watched his film, and you know what I'm saying, vice versa. He's watched mine, and there's certain stuff he does that's different from me, and then there's certain stuff I do that's different from him. But then we both had that same attitude And I think that's the coolest thing about it is like we really, really both have that really go-get-it attitude, and I think it's gonna show. It's gonna show. Yeah, this is definitely a different system. It's way different from Calgary and it's way different from SAS. So for sure, for me, it's making it fun. It's actually made camp more engaging for me because I'm actually having to really learn and really study. And Coach been throwing the whole playbook at us. So for me, it's almost just about just playing catch up, and it's been fun just having to learn a new system. But yeah, now my first camp up here was. And my first CFL camp was 2013, but I tore my ACL back-to-back years, my first 2 years up here. So it can't be no worse than those first 2 years. So it's been cool, man. It's just really a lot more knowledge about the game and understanding how to play, understanding what the offense wants to do, and understanding how to execute, more so your job and how to execute things within the scheme and execute things for guys around you. It's not can't just be a wrecking ball out there.
That is Micah Johnson, one of the newest members of the Hamilton Tiger Cats up front on defense, and getting interrupted by his former teammate in Calgary, current teammate here, Don Jackson, showing him the love. And, Micah showing the love right back to Dylan Wynn, as those two will have to be on the same page as they present one of the more formidable front lines in defense in the Canadian Football League for sure. Micah Johnson, one of the new faces. Another new face on the defensive side of the football is Alden Darby. And if you haven't already noticed, Alden is really making himself home here in Hamilton. He came up early before camp. He's been at a ton of community events already, and you can tell this guy is happy to be here. And when we caught up with him after practice day, we just talked about making himself feel at home early on here in camp with the Ticats. Here's what he had to say.
Oh, man, it's been amazing. I mean, when you have a group like this that has a lot of veterans, a lot of guys that's been around the league for a long time, you kind of see how easy it is to gel and flow. And then you got guys that work hard. Simone, Rowe, Richard. I've known these guys, man, since the first time I came to the league. They were guys that, I looked up to, and I was like, okay, I want to play my game at them. Like Cincinnati Evans, when I was playing field corner, he was a guy I watched because I think he's the best field corner in the league. And, you got Richard Leonard, you got Cameron Kelly, you got all these guys, man, that are veterans and leaders. And the main thing is they work. They're not guys that are like all-stars and had a successful career that don't work. They come out here and work as if it's their rookie year. So it's been a breeze. I mean, the thing about Hamilton is they're not bringing anybody in here in this locker room that they don't think already fits the mold. For me, this team is already who I am as a person. That was one of the main things of me committing here was the flow of the team, the identity of the team, the character of the team is what I represent. Hard work, bring your lunch pail, do your job, and we're here to play football. So for me, it was seamless because it's who I am as a person, and so it's very easy when it's that way.
What's the spot you like best? If you had your druthers.
Man, I like playing kickoff, kick return, and punt return.
Yeah. Okay.
any special teams, but I love. Respectfully. Anywhere, wherever I'm needed. Whatever my job is, whatever they need me to do. Like I said, if they need me to go set a wedge, I'm gonna set a wedge. If they need me to go run through a wedge, I'm gonna run through a wedge. If they need me to play punt all game, I'm gonna play punt. It doesn't even matter. I just want to do whatever I got to do to help this team win a Grey Cup. Oh, it's been amazing. Like I said, I've been competing against these guys. Since I came into the league, never had any bad blood with anybody on the team. We all knew each other. It's kind of funny now. We're kind of start talking about some things that's going on in the past, and like Jamal Rowe was telling me about, mid the year, me and him tied for interceptions, and he's like, man, you tied for interceptions, and I was supposed to get. So it's starting to become a lot funny. But these guys are amazing. They're vets, and we take care of it. We understand how to be pros, and we are here to do one job. So it's been amazing off the field. I love these guys.
And that is Alden Darby, one of the newest members of the Ticats, and fighting for a spot in a very talented group of DBs in the Ticats training camp so far this season. But you heard it there. His favorite position, punt return team, kickoff return. This guy is really willing to play anywhere on the football field to be a part of what's going on here in Hamilton, and his energy is infectious and contagious, and it's great to see him in the black and gold, because we don't need to talk about the last time he was at Tim Hortons Field in uniform. It was for the other guys. He made a pretty big play in that game. But the good news is that on Saturday, he will be wearing the black and gold, and you can be there as well. Go to ticats.ca/tickets. Join us as we get together for the first time this year at Tim Hortons Field as a Tiger Cats family. And remember, full coverage of that game happening exclusively on the Ticats Audio Network. All right, one more new face I want to get to from today, and it was Kyle Saxelid on the offensive line. And there's one thing that stands out about Kyle Saxelid, and that is the fact that he stands out, especially among the offensive linemen here. And that says something. Offensive linemen, obviously pretty big guys to begin with, but Saxelid is 6'8", 320 pounds. And he is hard to miss out there. But we had a chance to catch up with him after practice today, talking about his experience entering his third year in the CFL. But first, with the Ticats, wanted to know what his experience has been like so far. Here's what he had to say.
Things have been going great. I'm already, one of the guys. Obviously, I had the same O-line coach as I had when my first year up here in 2019, so that's nice. A lot of the terminology is the same. And we're all kept in nice close quarters to one another, so I've been able to just, mingle with the guys pretty well. I feel like a part of the team from day one. No, it's been extremely helpful. I sit next to him in all the meetings. He gives me tips on my pass sets, my run blocking. I'm like, oh man, this guy's been in the league for 35-something years, and I could, he probably knows a thing or two. I'm trying to learn a thing or two. So I ask him a ton of questions. I'm surprised he's not annoyed with me yet, but it's extremely useful. He does it for everybody. So he makes us better regardless of whether he has the pads on or not. Well, it's the number one thing, every time in the O-line group, what we do is we always, hey, I'm this and that, I'm from here, this is what I like, these are what we do, and we always hang out with each other, just because when you're on the offensive line, that's 5 individual positions that have to think as one individual person. I have to know exactly, I'm at the right side, but I got to know what that left tackle's doing, left guard, center, right guard. What they're doing on this entire defensive front. So, we're like a hive mind,
And that is Kyle Saxelid on the offensive line as we had a chance to catch up with him. And you can hear full scrums from all the new guys we heard from today, Alden Darby, Micah Johnson, and Kyle Saxelid, as well as Coach O, just by going to ticats.ca. All right, there was a familiar face on the field today, familiar voice for us here on the Ticats Audio Network, as Andy Fantuz continued his stint as a guest coach working with the receivers. Had a chance to catch up with Andy after practice today, and we started off our chat just by, I asked him how he got involved in guest coaching, where this all came from. Here's what he had to say.
Well, it's nice to see you again, first and foremost. But it's coaching. I've always had it in the back of my mind, and I sort of wanted to dip my foot in. So I reached out to Coach O and Tommy, and to see if there was some space and opportunity for me to come in and learn from them and just get a feel for coaching and try to add a little bit of value if possible. But I think I'm doing more learning than teaching right now, but that's okay. It's great to be around football and the guys again, and I'm having a blast.
And not being in pads while the rest of them are, though.
Yeah. You still, you know,
feel it though?
You still get a little bit sore from being outside and moving around and standing for that long, but nothing like these players are going through, of course. But this training staff, the coaches, they know how to take care of the players. So we're trying to limit the injuries as much as possible and make sure that every rep is quality, not just run to run, but it's nice not to get hit, that's for sure.
So no temptation coming out of retirement at all here? Even a little? Like, come on.
There were a few guys going down, and some people were asking me, and I thought, if I start warming up now, I might be ready for like week 17 for maybe one series, but no, I don't think so. I don't think I can hang with these guys anymore.
Let's talk about some of these guys. I mean, Ternowski, those first couple of days was looking great. I know he's off now, but what have you seen from this receiver group? A lot of returning guys, some new faces, but just overall first impressions.
A lot of raw talent, for sure. And the returning guys certainly had a grasp on the offense, and they have some leadership within that group. Even though they are all young receivers, they act like a veteran group. So that helps bring all the new guys along. And working under Tommy and Jason Phillips, you need to be intelligent, and that's what it starts with. If you don't know what your assignment, then you can't be on the field. So everybody there has the intelligence and the capability. So now it's more of getting getting a feel for the game and really just getting the game to slow down. And once you know the offense and you know that you know what you know kind of thing, then you can start working on your craft and a little bit more and adding things to your toolbox. So we started to see that as the days went on, and a ton of potential. So I think it's a lot of competition in the receiving group, especially. I think across the team, but I know the receiving group for sure. And so it's going to be some great preseason games and reps for the rest of camp.
Now, we've gotten to see Dane Evans from afar the last couple of years, but this is the first time, since 2019, I've been on the field with him. You're literally on the field with him. What have you seen from Dane so far?
It starts with his leadership, and you could tell that even when I was on the team with him, and he was the third or fourth string. You could just tell he was just a great guy. He looks you in the eyes. He's like his best friends with everybody. So it's just contagious from there. And so he's vocal in meetings. He knows what he wants. He's always picking guys up. And then his on-field play and his understanding of the offense, it speaks for itself. You can give him a play and he could tell you everything about what's going to happen with his reads like in an instant. And when you know it that well, like kind of what I was saying earlier, you know it that well, then you can really start working on those fine-tuned details that are going to take you over the top.
And a lot of people might just assume that, he's the quarterback. He has to do that. I'm sure you've played with quarterbacks who aren't that guy. So what difference does that make to the guys in the room when you see a guy who's vocal, who's leading by example, who's doing all these things that you described Dane's doing?
It's uplifting. It's uplifting. You know that you can trust him, that he's doing the right thing, and he's going to get you the ball and put it where it needs to be. As a receiver, I'm saying, but just across the team, you know that your leader is putting in more work than anybody. He's got it down pat. So you want to follow. You want to follow like someone like that. That's inspiring. So. A guy like Dane, I think, is going to take this team pretty far. And
that is Andy Fantuz. My thanks to him for giving me a couple minutes after practice today. And if you haven't seen it already, a little get to know you about all our coaches that we're working on our fantastic content team. Zach and Corey and Dan and Jack and Emma and everybody who's a part of it. They've done something really cool, and it's the coaches at camp. So they've been catching up with coaches at camp after practice, and Coach Butler was yesterday, but you can go to our social media pages at Ticats and make sure to check that out. Coaches at camp. We've dropped 4 episodes so far. We'll be dropping more throughout training camp as we go along. All right, that'll do it for us today. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. Make sure you check back. Make sure you like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And a reminder, our first broadcast of the year going down on Saturday as the Hamilton Tiger Cats host the Montreal Alouettes in the first preseason game for them in 2022. All right, we'll be back later this week. Thanks for checking us out. For the Ticats Audio Network, I'm Louie B. Hoping you have a great day.